Good day, everyone. Okay, so I'm going to go over some local analysis here and then go over the high time frame levels. The local analysis, this is just where, on the 50-minute chart, you might do some scalping. I actually haven't been scalping much. Last night I did take a long, there was a key level here that isn't on the chart anymore because it's washed out. But I took a scalp long here into this descending channel idea. So I saw this coming. There was a key level here. When we swing failure this low, I took a scalp long, profits up into the top of the channel. And while I was sleeping, the rest got stopped out at entry. So I just took profits, set my stop to entry, got stopped out while I was sleeping. I haven't really been trading this. There was some bearish divergences as we swing failure these highs. I'll tell you what I'm interested in. I mean, even this is kind of interesting. It could be scalpable, except for order flow isn't particularly bullish, so I'm not too interested. But the idea here would be you have just a local swing failure. So these were the lows. You lose the lows, you pump up, and you back test the low. And that can be a tight invalidation long for a scalp. And it looks something like this. And you just long the back test. Always looking for fib confluence too on those. Those are, golden pocket locally, back test. You can scalp longs off there if you're interested, off those types of setups. But on a higher time frame, or this would be a medium time frame, we do have this potential descending channel idea. It's not confirmed yet, but for example, if we come down into this 382, let me turn on the extension so we can see it, around 22,500, and that is pulled from, let me go to the 50-minute chart. You'll notice I have a lot of analysis on here. We'll go over it as we zoom out, but let's go over this first. So this is a major pivot 38.2 retracement, and if we come into this level around the new daily candle, maybe we work our way through like this. I'd be more interested in this long setup for a medium time frame long. Sweeping this low, if you get a nice reaction, it could offer a nice trigger. The only thing I would mention is we do have a golden pocket and the bottom of a bigger channel below us. So I think for me, certainly would still take profits on this somewhat aggressively, stop to entry. I do have targets into the highs here, which I'll go over. But these are some local longs I'd be interested in. Here, if we swing failure this low and we get a good reaction, but it would just be a tight invalidation long. Or if we come down into this region, which is this bigger ascending channel, into this local golden pocket. So the timing is important there, because depending on when you hit it, it's not the channel. And this is also a bigger 382 from the absolute low. So there's some nice fib confluence around here, this nice channel, and it's a level I'd be interested in locally. There are levels down here, but I won't go over those now because the video will just be too dense. But what am I kind of, I guess you could say hoping for, but not really. What am I interested in if we get it? Well, if we get a bounce anywhere here off some levels that I may or may not trade, if we get them, I'd like to see higher, and I'd like to see a push up into this region of the chart. And I'll just turn on some other ideas here. So I have an Elliott wave idea that could play out. Sorry for this messy chart, by the way. I've just been kind of going over a bunch of different types of analysis and ideas. There's also some harmonic confluence, if we can do that. Two different types of harmonics. And so the target would be shorting from here and down into the lows of the range again, into this 886, around 18,300, with the idea that people would get very, very bearish again, shorting this breakdown, expecting these lows to be taken, and you might get a nice long just sweeping these lows. And the trigger for me would be sweeping the lows into the 886 and reclaiming them. That'd be my long trigger. I wouldn't just long the breakdown, I'd wait for the reclaim. Likewise, if we sweep this low, I'd wait for the reclaim of this low to long. But there's a lot of confluence up here as well. There's some 123.7 extensions, which could give us an expanded flat. That's why I like this level. There's obviously, we're near the top of the channel here. If we push up a little through this, around 25,500, we have the 50% fib from this high. I was just actually doing this as an example for 123.7 extensions. It is worth noting that we have a bigger ascending channel idea that you can see here. I'll change the color of it to red so we can just visualize it. Oops, I haven't clicked the wrong one. So we have two ideas here. It is possible if we break this resistance that we push up into this level. So I'd be interested in shorts here. I'd be interested in shorts here. I'd cut my shorts if we break out, and I'd just look to add if we get a nice reaction off there or some weakness. Now, it's very possible we just keep breaking down, in which case I'll just be interested in trading these levels anyways, and it's very possible we just don't get these higher targets around 25.5 or even 26 to 27,000. But I do like this idea much better, that we would have something like this. That we would push up into this higher level, potentially reject. This chart is sure is messy, isn't it? Let me, did I do that many brush marks already? I'm a brush mark fiend. Let me just clear off this Elliott wave count to clean this up a bit. So the idea being that we push up here, reject from this level, and this trend line idea. We come into the lows, and then we push into this golden pocket, like have a really nice reaction, potentially, into this bigger trend line, and this ascending trend line. You can see this bigger trend line pulled from the all-time highs. It's a very nice intersection, and so I like this idea of front running this golden pocket now into the lows and coming up and hitting it in, you know, about 2 to 3 weeks. It'll be 2.5 to 3 weeks. So that's something I'll be looking out for. So that's the whole premise of the trades I'm interested in. All these are kind of scalp ideas. This is a higher time frame idea, higher time frame idea, higher time frame idea. So if we get this, these would be kind of my 3 major trades over the next few weeks, with some scalping in between. So that's Bitcoin. We'll see what happens. We'll see if we break down, if we get the pump. For me, I'm just waiting for the levels I have that are of interest. I did take this short on XRP. The way I shorted this is I shorted as we came up into this channel touch using this other channel idea, which wasn't confirmed, but I was aware of it as my stop loss, and this high as my stop loss. And so I wanted to short this level. I didn't want to get front run, so I shorted the first initial reaction with the wider stop. I actually did add a little bit right at the top because that seemed like a really low risk add, touching this channel once I started seeing the rejection. And yeah, I've taken profits off of it. You know, we're coming into the middle of this other channel idea. There's some important fibs here. I think it's important to take profits off a position like this, but I'm leaving my stop at entry and letting some of it run in case of a further breakdown. Same thing, you know, with XRP, I wouldn't mind seeing XRP sweep the lows either. We have obviously some important fib levels. Alts do love the 786 for deep retracements. So these are worth watching. It would be great to come down and sweep this low again, and that could be a long trigger, but we'll see if we get that. But yeah, so anyways, hopefully this update's helpful. I still do think it's reasonable to expect higher on Bitcoin. But it's very possible also that the top is in. But for me, it doesn't really matter. I'm just waiting for key levels. So if I don't get some great short with a pump up to here, then I'll just wait for longs lower. And I might look for some scalp entries where I can get some nice take profits quickly and possibly carry some of those higher. But that's just sort of playing it day by day, hour by hour. So anyways, that's what I'm looking at, and I hope you guys have a good day.